Publish reports. Everybody rest.
Yeah, right.
But
I have my hand on my heart.
I know. That is practice.
Yeah.
We're still staring at the flag though, like. Nobody's gonna look at each other like that.
Okay, the American pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the Texas pledge? Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Let us pray. Our Father, we just thank you for allowing us to come together today. Just please be with us as we work on decisions for the county, for both the people who live in Hutchinson County and the people who work here. We just ask your guidance in all of these areas. We just pray to continue to keep everybody safe as we approach the holidays. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Okay, the first item on the agenda is public comments. Anybody got anything? No, okay. Consent agenda is the next few items. Does anyone have any questions or comments or need to pull anything off the consent agenda? Do I hear a motion to accept the items on the consent agenda?
I move to accept the items on the consent agenda as presented. I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 1 on the regular agenda. We are jumping right in. Consider and or approve health insurance renewal for 24-25. Amy, did you have anything else to add? Okay.
Was presented and.
Right, we've had some discussion and presentation of information. Does anyone have any thoughts, comments, or how they want to go in this? We have lots of options. So Charlotte has sent over some additional information on the dental and vision. We all had a chance to review those numbers as compared to the numbers that TAC has for us. Any questions for Amy or on those? Y'all have a chance to look at them? Anyone got any thoughts? How they want to handle insurance? You want to just leave it the same?
I'll leave it the same. The same policy. Same deductible, $5,000 deductible
So on the health insurance,
on the health insurance.
everything the same as it was, absorb the renewal rates as we have been.
Yeah, and for me, I'd be fine with the county absorbing the increase.
So no increase to the employees across the board.
No.
Any other thoughts?
Dental is what, 29, that says it, 2910, is that right?
But we have to have 50% employees sign up for it.
Even with the new ones that Charlotte provided?
No.
No, however, we would have to get rid of tax insurance or the
Life insurance.
So we would have to eliminate that and then we would be paying more for, the county would be paying more on that plan because with that dental plan, we had to include not only the dental, the vision, and also the life.
Which comes out to more
With
than we're paying right now.
more than what we're paying right now.
So, but we could offer the dental. If we get enough people to sign up for it, we could go forward with it.
Right, the only way is we'd have to have 50% participation. So the only way to get 50% participation is for the county to pay some or all of that dental for the employees only.
Oh, it's
Right.
Not the only way.
I just don't see us hitting,
Percent otherwise.
I don't see us hitting.
How many people are on the dental now?
Right now, we have, I think it's only 27% of the county employees.
Okay, and what's it costing?
It costs 30, I believe I paid $37. For employee only, it's 37, somewhere in there.
So if we paid all of the dental for the employees, and then they could pay if they wanted to have their family.
Right, they could add,
So this one says 2942, but wasn't it
2910,
2910, right?
that's what I've got,
Charlotte's, the 2942 is what Charlotte sent. That's the outside quote
right,
Oh,
that has less benefit on the.
right. I mean, I would prefer to stick with TAC if we can meet the 50%.
I think you could if the county paid the dental.
Right,
And
I agree,
if they want the vision, the vision that'd be on
right.
the employee.
And that's what you presented it as, correct? Yeah, that we could offer them the vision. If they want to do it, they can pay for that themselves. We could pay for the dental.
Then
Would
they-
they still get the life insurance?
And then,
if we go through TAC, we can do life insurance through.
keep what we have.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
what we have is $10,000. Amy's proposal was to possibly bump that up to 20. Which of course there's a increase.
That wasn't.
Yeah, it doubles the. So how do y'all feel about the dental then? I mean, my proposal, I like this. I would propose that we pay the dental for employees, but what do y'all think?
I'm fine with paying it. The proposal still, it is $100 cheaper though. Out of for the employee only, if they still paid it, they would still be saving money. Like we left it the same, they would still be saving money annually. That's why I was just saying it's not the only way to get 50%. Because you said you're paying 37 now. It would drop to 29.10, which would be about $84 savings a year. And better coverage than what we've got. So that's why I was saying that's not the only way to get 50%.
Right, we could pay,
But I'm fine with offering that as a benefit, paying the whole thing as the county.
I'm fine with paying the 2910 for the employee. And then they could just add on if they want.
whatever else they
That's up
wanted.
to them, or if they
Yes.
want to raise this to cover spouse or children, family, whatever, that's up to them.
Any other thoughts? So is everyone okay with those? As leave the health insurance the way it is, just the county absorbs the increase?
It's all right.
I want to say publicly, whoever the spouse is on the coverage, how much can we carry over on the employee to the HSA? Like, what is our contribution max? Like, as an employee, what can I?
We get 125 a
No,
month.
me, like, what can I contribute? What can you take out of my paycheck to the HSA?
Oh,
What is my
additionally.
contribution? Not the county contribution.
Oh, yeah.
You were,
My maximum contribution.
36, so altogether, I believe the rates was 3,600 for the year that you can contribute to your HSA.
Okay,
But there was a limit. You did that for mine,
Right, yes.
but I don't remember what the limit was.
If you have family, I believe it's 7,800, I could.
because I just want to say, I mean, I know we're doing our due diligence, but there's no. With the 1,500 that we're paying in as a county to the HSA, there's no reason, I don't see that there's mathematically any reason that anybody's on the 80/20.
Right.
Because they're paying in. Just the employee only is paying in $1,700 a year, which they could put that into the HSA, and they still have to pay a $2,500 deductible, which is $4,200 a year they're paying max. Which when you max out the HSA, you're only gonna pay $2,000 of a deductible. So
So $4,150 that you can for the year, and then if you have a family, it's 8,300 now. It has increased up to 7% from last year.
So you have to deduct what the employer contributes, right?
Right, and then so you just
can
take that
only do the-
1,500 minus that.
right. But I just, is there mathematically any that anybody can see of why we wouldn't,
Just offer an HSA and
right?
stop offering that.
We offer 1,500, the spouse, the one person that has a spouse, they're paying $4,400 a year. Just in the difference of the premium.
How many people are on the 80/20?
Right
25,
here, 25.
26 with the spouse.
Yeah.
However, that spouse is no longer on the insurance, any longer on that 80/20 plan, so we do not have a spouse on the 80/20.
So
So we have 25 employees on the 80/20.
mathematically, with the 1,500 we put in from the county, there's no reason that they should be 80/20, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I agree too.
They're
The
spending
80,
more money.
the HSA plan is cheaper for the county.
It is, that's what I'm saying, like,
Yes.
if and somebody's gonna murder me for saying this.
Right.
If we get rid of the 80/20, it saves the county money and it costs the employees less. So I'm just saying publicly, anybody who's on the 80/20, crunch the numbers because you're paying more money being on the 80/20.
I mean, I honestly
HSA.
think Charlotte and the team, when we have open enrollment, tries to explain that to them
Right.
every year, but it's hard, I guess, to let go of that,
I don't think they get to sit down and crunch the numbers. That's what I'm
Right.
saying. They need to sit down
right, the big picture.
because they're automatically kicking out $143 a month just in the premium, which they could be putting on the HSA. And that would add up to $3,500 a year minus the 5,000 deductible. You'd only pay $1,500 in the deductible. So if anybody's on the 80/20 is it,
So what was the reasoning for offering both of these anyway? I mean,
We used to just have that traditional 80/20, and then, oh gosh, it was a few years ago, we went to the HSA, what,
it is
19?
my first year.
And so we still gave them the option to do one or the other. And I just think that the 80/20 is what people are used to. It's hard to
Yeah.
change and hard to think about paying that $4,000 deductible or $5,000 now.
There's some instances that it causes issues with if they have another insurance or, suffer spouse or.
If they're right, because they can't be covered
Think of that.
double, right?
And there's some situations that to them to the employees in their head, they feel more comfortable because they don't have that money to come up with if there was something, an emergency all at one time. So especially if you're just starting the HSA, so it's a lot of money out of pocket. A lot of people don't have that money. That's just sitting there to pay to be able, so I think that's the other scary part of why people still stay on 80/20. But you do see a big difference. I mean, we have, a majority of all our employees are on the high deductible plan, so.
so what are you proposing? Maybe just offer one?
I'm not saying that this year.
I don't think.
But I think it would be nice to move to that if
I
we
would like-
could.
We get here next year, they'll have an answer for,
I,
maybe we should.
I would like all the employees to crunch their own numbers and if they need a 80/20 to tell us why.
I agree.
Mathematically, there's not a reason why
I mean, it just makes more sense financially for,
The only
in
obstacle,
the end.
the only obstacle is that big, like if you break your leg in January. But if you're paying the $2,500 deductible with 20% of your hospital bill, that could still get up to $4,000 or $5,000 too, pretty quick. So
I wouldn't say that we need an option for them, and if you don't want to continue to pay that much, then have the people that want to be on the 80/20 pay more out of their pocket, and y'all will not continue to increase, y'all's rates, but keep it the same as the rate with the HSA. So you'll still continue to pay. So if they still want to choose to be on the 80/20, then they'll just have to pay more a month to be on that 80/20. So that would be the better thing than getting rid of the 80/20 all in, because some people just refuse to be on that HSA, or it doesn't work well with their situation, because everybody has their own situation. So I don't feel comfortable with just only offering a high deductible plan. I don't think that would be a big personal. But if you don't want to endure, if the county doesn't want to endure any more cost on that 80/20, my suggestion is to increase it onto the employee if that's the case.
Put that increase on the employee, not on the county.
As of now, is the county contribution for each employee the same across the board? So like what we pay on the HSA is exactly. what
It's
we pay
fairly even, maybe until last year, and we may have put more increase on the employee who stayed on the 80/20, but before it was pretty even across the board as far as how much the county contribution
we
was.
pay $120 more for the employee, the 80/20, which kind of cancels out the HSA contribution. So it's about, but it's gonna go,
With this one, the way it's gonna change, yes, they will be paying more on the employees than the ones that are on the.
with, if we absorb the cost, we'll be paying more.
Correct.
Right.
Well, come this time next year, we need to
Well, we could,
evaluate this.
not pay the whole increase on the 80/20.
14 to.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Contribution kind of equal for all.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna ask. You were saying
Mm-hmm.
your thing was to take all the increase.
Yeah,
I mean, we'd pay more
on the 80/20,
per employee there instead of the HSA.
how much difference would that be?
We assume the total increase on both of them, it'd just be 150 per employee difference. So we'd be paying $25 more on the 80/20 per employee, which isn't too far off.
Say that again? But,
So on the far right one, I think that's what you're talking about. The county assumes the total increase on both sides.
right,
So if you add the 125 to the HSA renewal, it would just be 25, what did I say? 1375. It'd be $25 less total contribution per month on the HSA than the 80/20, which isn't as far off as I thought.
Is there anything that says we have to offer the 80/20?
No,
So why not just not offer it?
well, there's a lot of it. I think we need to give a little time to. If they need time to look at this themselves, and if they're gonna have to convert or whatever.
And if there's special needs cases, we need to hear it too. We don't have time. I mean, that's why I was saying over the next year, if it's just religious, we don't like change type of stuff. I mean, I think crunching the numbers can change, but if there's specific situations,
I agree with you. I don't see the point. I really don't, but.
We either offer it or not offer it. You can't. when it-
Pick and choose.
Yeah.
Right,
That's what I'm saying.
but
Next year,
they
you
can,
choose
you know,
that.
maybe they have a specific reason that they need to
We need to
stay
do
on it.
this.
Yeah, because if not, and we decide to go to HSA and that, those people didn't come to us and explain why that other is better, then we don't know that information and it may be not.
Everyone that's on 80/20 needs to reach out to y'all to explain the reason in their situation that
100%.
they're on the 80/20.
Maybe they have a good reason we haven't thought about. I don't know.
100% they do. I wish they would do that about every situation. We had to talk
And we
about.
don't
I
know
want them to
unless
blow
someone
my
talks to
emails
us.
if they have.
So they will.
Everybody says that and then we don't. They just, I mean, we make the bad decisions and then it's talked about in the county. We don't ever get to remedy
I
that.
learned the last thing I like to hear is, that's something we'll to look at later.
Right.
I just think we need to
That's-
give our
that's-
employees options and that's the whole thing. I mean, they need options. And if it's the financial part of that, whether it's their pocketbook or that's their deal, that's their business. If they want to pay more, as long as we're keeping those rates the same with the high deductible plan, I don't see why there's an issue to offer that 80/20 period. I mean, that's their business.
Because we're,
That's just how I feel.
paying more
Not
per
really all
employee.
Control whether, what insurance.
Well, it is, that's what
Yeah.
it is, we decide, we have to decide this for our employees. It is our business to do that.
Yeah.
They want to pay more money out of their own pocket for that insurance. I don't agree. So that's my opinion.
I think what she's saying is the county contributes across the board the same amount regardless. Then they pick up the difference. So I kind of agree with her. If they want to spend more money to pay for their insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree with that. If we pay across the board the same amount, then they can pick up the difference,
We would-
if they're okay with that.
So
So we're gonna have to, if that's the case, then we are gonna have to figure out, like, instead of just absorbing the increase for the whole thing across the board, if we're gonna absorb the increase for the HSA, what is that equivalent to for the 80/20?
And if we do make people pay more next year, we need them to come and tell, I mean, then we will be the bad guys. Why is my plan going up? Why are you making us pay more? I want them to come and reach out to us because of that. So not just they hear about it.
right now, what percentage of the 80/20 do we want to absorb? If we will absorb all of the HSA.
Well, the way I figure, is this right? It's a 95 something dollar increase on the HSA? Am I figuring those numbers right?
Yeah. That,
And it was. Yes, 113.12.
Well, that's if the employee pays $150. If we keep it the same.
how much did you come up with on HSA plan?
Should be 90, 89, 89, 70.
It's 90.
I come up with
something.
9172 also.
Did I say 95? I'm sorry. Yeah, 91.72. That's-
Should be 1,500.
I had 113. Where did I get to that?
I didn't add for the,
113.12.
yeah, I didn't add for the employee only.
113.12.
9172 compared to 113.12.
I get we pay $216.72 a month for the HSA plan. That includes the contribution. Is that right?
So what,
Yes.
$216.72 is what we pay with the contribution. Or we would.
I'm not sure about that.
If you increase the employees on 80/20 for that, you would add 21.95 is what I'm getting. The difference between the copay, the copays and the HSA increase is 21.95. So if you just add that 21.95 to the 143.19 that they're already paying.
That would keep it
That would keep it where they're making.
equal. They're absorbing the extra, not the county.
So. What's that come out? What's,
So 164.59
Yes.
would be what would increase the employees to be on the 80/20. Their part would be 164.
No, 165.85.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's only like $19.
143.19 plus 21.95, what you said?
Sorry, let me.
No, me too. I came out to 165.85.
So 113.12 minus the 91.72. $21.40, so 21.40
Oh,
plus the 143.19. So 164.59.
okay. How do y'all feel about that? County absorbs the HSA increase, county absorbs part of the 80/20, which is equal to the amount we did on the HSA, but we don't absorb the whole amount. The employee pays the difference.
what's that dollar figure you come up with?
Is it 21.45? Difference?
$21.40.
Huh?
$21.40.
Increase. Difference. Because we're gonna absorb a $91.72 increase on the HSA employees. And then there's 113.12 on the 80/20. So if we just absorb the 91.72, they pick up the 21.40. Added on to what?
91.72 on both.
Yes,
So. It's the way it needs to be.
it's equal. Yeah. County's still paying the same amount, but because the 80/20 rates are higher, they absorb the increase
So that makes it real simple. You want to pick up 91.72
for both,
for both.
leaving the employee not paying anything on the HSA,
All right. And they will pay a little bit on the 80/20.
more.
Yeah.
Because they're already paying.
Yeah.
Are y'all okay with that? Right, you're awful quiet over there.
Oh, I knew kind of where we were probably gonna land, so. It's already
Is that what you were
had
thinking?
it already, circled. I like
Is
it.
this where we landed?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's what we kind of discussed. Yeah, y'all landed in the right.
Be nervous when you're this quiet.
No, sorry. You're all saying everything that needs to be said.
Oh, you can ask them.
Are there any employees here that, like, there's several of y'all. What are your thoughts? Or what do you,
Any of you on the
What do you want us to
80-20
look
or,
at for the next
I
year?
guess I wanna say,
It's
you know,
a contribution for the dependents, Samantha, she lost hers last year. Contributions
what do you mean for,
For the county.
stopped
For the children.
paying,
oh,
like,
Yeah.
we're,
I'd like to see the insurance come back for the retirees.
I,
Just think everybody has a specific, situation, a specific circumstance.
true.
Like Katie said, everybody's got their own little thing. For our own reasons why we're on it. For me, for example, my medication is extremely expensive. That's my position. Everybody has their own little reason why.
I'll say with mine, I've had cancer, so I still have, my oncologist, my radiologist appointments and a lot of extra testing done. And then, of course, I'm on medication for that, which is very expensive too. So for me, at my age now, trying to start in HSA, would be disadvantage, for me.
have you talked to them about like on the medication? Cause it's 100% covered after the deductible on both of those. It should be.
Some of them are less expensive after you do eat that, but you're still paying the premium. And I'm fine with absorbing the extra. I'd be more than happy to pay that, just so we do have a choice. Because I realize because of my medical condition, I'm limited on, some other options.
Thank you.
Amy, do we still have some grandfathered in, retired employees under 65?
We do, yes, yes. We have.
I thought I saw, do we just have one or?
No, there,
3.
I think there's. I don't know what information, but.
Well-
Going blank, but I'm pretty sure, I think.
It said retired employees on that one page, but it doesn't have a number.
There's either 3 or 5. I can't
I
recall.
think it is 5. I don't know why I want to say I'm going with 5, but I can get that really fast.
And how much were we paying? Or are we paying of the retired employee?
It's only like 13,000.
Well, I mean,
For the
what
year.
percentage? Do you remember? I read that somewhere and I can't remember now.
what's your question?
How much we were paying of the retirees insurance?
I don't remember the percentage. I remember the amount.
Okay, we have 4 retirees under 65 right now. And then we pay a month. We're paying $2,538 a month for all 5 of those. They pay the other half.
So we pay half of their premium.
Right.
Paying half of the premium?
It's gonna be a little less. Well, it's about a little more than 50%. I
Well,
don't have the exact.
I think when the retirees, paying on the retirees, when we did away with that, created some problems that might not have seen coming. And that is, you may have enough years in, you may have enough time to retire,
But you need the insurance.
but you need the insurance, so you need to stay. When somebody really would rather retire. So I think it created some problems, so we didn't see it.
Thoughts on that? What do y'all think? I'm retired. How many people are gonna retire on us? We did.
Well, that's the thing of. like,
I don't want to lose anybody.
What's the incentive? I mean, we're covering people to leave us, basically, like half of their premium.
Right, which,
And I do want to preface this by saying this impacts me. Like a lot of people came to me and said, I'm not thinking about things. This impacts me for like a couple of decades because I can retire and be on the insurance for years. So I mean, this impacts me too, probably more than anybody on the court, the retiree stuff. So I mean, I can have it for 15. What age can I retire and have it for like 15
You
years?
have to be vested for, once you're vested 8 years. you can
Yeah.
retire. So-
Well,
I
you
can
can
be-
have your
I can be on the,
75 years.
no, I'm vested in 2 years. I can retire and be on. the
after
retirement.
8 years.
You can't retire until you had enough, either your age and your.
Well, you could, you might not be.
Retirement, you can
I
draw
can keep the
insurance.
insurance.
You could,
I can't draw.
well, that's true.
I'm retired.
You can have your insurance. Yeah.
So
There's not very many companies that pay
Right.
retirees insurance.
Would you, you would just be basically quitting if you're not retiring and drawing your retirement,
that's not-
right? So it wouldn't be.
So
once you're vested, you're
once you're
retired.
vested, you retire from anything.
I can't draw on my retirement, but as far as the term retirement, I can still be retired into the insurance.
You can. still
I don't
become
touch
some
my-
insurance, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can be covered by the county retiree insurance for 22 years. So
I'm not gonna do that.
I'm just saying.
But there are some people like, say, me and Dwayne that have been here forever and could have retired 10 years ago with full benefits, but
Wait till
Well-
you're 66 and get on Medicare. That's my,
60.
it's 66.
not that I want to retire.
Line
That's
that
not my
up,
plan, but
Giving them the option, you know, if they want to retire, they have that security of being able to afford insurance. So, and a lot of people, most of them stay till they're 65, you know. Most of them, you know, there's very few. I mean, obviously, we have very, you know, few.
I
Very
think
few,
that,
but how much does that play onto the premiums for our current employees is what is the concern. Because when people retire and they say, I have a health problem, I'm retiring because I can't work, and they stay on our insurance for 5 more years, that directly impacts our current employees' premiums to keep those up.
because of the
And
claims.
so if we want to talk about employee satisfaction, the 100 employees that we have that are 40 to 60 that are working are paying for retirees potentially, the claims that are going in there. So
I don't
It's
think
just-
it'll make that big of a difference. So we're gonna have high claims no matter what.
well, I mean, our presentation, there's,
No matter what.
well, there's only, if we're going to talk as the business, and I hate doing this, there's 2 employees that are making the claims high. That's not a lot. I don't want to lose them. I hate talking that game, but saying very few don't impact the majority, that's not accurate. I mean,
Well,
we'll always potentially have 1 or 2.
That's what's
We
not
have
the
to
point.
look at trying to protect our current employees as much as possible. So I mean, it does play into it.
I think in most cases, we've had it, we've always had it until last year. That's when
Well,
we've
I don't know at what point they put that into effect.
been there.
Forever.
Until last year.
And I think,
And like, there's just 4 people on it.
right,
So I don't think it's gonna get flooded with retirees. I mean, I don't have anybody that's gonna retire just because they're getting insurance back, but
I think,
just like Ben said, there's a lot of people that they don't need to work till they're 65, but they're forced to.
Oh, kind of, and of course, 65, you get them,
Well,
get off of it. But,
and I'm not for or against right now. I'm playing devil's advocate to say, when you're saying people won't retire because of it, then people shouldn't feel like they have to work because of it either. I mean, there's a lot of retirement benefits that the county pays out as well on the other side of things too, that, I mean, I don't know. There's incentive to work for the county. There, like Dwight said, there's a lot of businesses that don't offer that because it's an incentive to be an employee currently of the county. Because that's a benefit of working with the county still and not being a draw on the county versus, for 5 years on the insurance while current employees pay those premiums. So I see both sides. And that's why I just wanted to preface it by saying I'm impacted a lot by it too, because I had people that said, you don't care about that stuff, but the retirement thing impacts me too.
I know this sounds crazy, but I hope when I leave Celebration or the county that y'all aren't still paying for me after I'm gone. It just seems like a burden I'm gonna put on you guys.
They don't,
Right.
do they pay your insurance right now?
Yes. Well, no, you are paying my insurance,
Right.
but before this, they did pay my insurance.
But when you leave, if you go ahead and approve.
I'll be on my own.
We'll be able to,
I'll be on my own because I chose to be
Exactly.
on my own. I mean, yeah, I don't ever want to,
don't get reelected.
yeah, I'll be on my own. It will be no big deal. It'll be back to what it was. I never want to be a part of an organization. It seemed like I would just be draining them after I'm gone, like, hey, I'm
Well,
still
you gotta
making.
understand, not everybody has that option. And that is, say you work 30 years for the county and then you get up in your mid-50s or something, you have a bad illness, you have something, you can't work. You lose your health insurance because you can't keep a job. Then, because have health issues, where are you gonna get insurance?
Right.
How are you gonna get covered?
I think
Or how are you
initially,
gonna pay?
That's the issue that we have to decide. That one person will impact the rest of the 100, their premiums. I hate that it's a business, but
But you have somebody that give 30 years for the county and then you have something go wrong and you can't work, you're booted out.
I think originally,
Insurance either.
or what I was told from years ago, that it was kind of a thank you for hanging with us that long, and we're gonna continue your insurance benefits at whatever percentage, It was just more of an additional benefit to the employees for
So anybody who works for 8 years, we.
Yeah, I don't-
to be
I don't think
can,
they
but
hear
then
us.
we changed it.
So thank you for being with us for 8 years. We will now pay for you forever
No, not a.
until you turn 60.
Well, that's when you're vested.
that's when you're vested.
Yeah, I know, but that's not,
There's stipulations to that retirement
Yeah.
for them to receive the insurance.
yeah, exactly.
They have to
There's
draw their
stipulations.
retirement.
Yes,
And some
That
people
would
might
be-
not want to do that
correct. You can't just leave or get
You can
fired or
quit from the
terminated.
county.
They will not be able to be on that insurance. They have to
Retire.
to
and start drawing their retirement benefits,
correct.
I
right?
don't think that's accurate.
Yeah, I'd like
I
to.
talked to Tech
Means that you're
about that.
entitled to the 100% that the county has already put in. If you quit at 7 years, you're not entitled to all the money. You're entitled to the money that you contributed for
Right.
your retirement. but
That's
you're not
two different
entitled to
things.
the
That's retirement. We're
That's two
talking.
different
Yeah,
things.
that's retirement.
Because I asked Tech about this, when I'm vested at 8 years, I can retire and be on insurance as a retiree, but I don't touch my insurance until whenever I choose. That's two different
You
situations.
mean your retirement?
Retirement, I don't touch my retirement until I'm 70. If
So you don't have
add it
to.
up. But I can be tagged. When I asked them about this, they said, that once you're vested and you retire or you leave, you're retired for insurance purposes, not retirement funding, retirement purposes as far as insurance.
Well, maybe we could put in the policy that you have to draw your retirement before you receive those benefits. I think we could probably, make that to where that wouldn't be an issue.
If you can require that.
I don't know, there might be a law against that.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't know.
stipulations.
Yeah. Or we're providing the retired insurance, so I don't know. That'd be something to look into though.
I think that last year when we made that decision, we were just trying to find ways to cut our costs because our insurance is so high. And I think last year we got a 9.9 increase. And at least the increase not so bad this year. But I like the idea of that person that maybe is 63 and ready to retire, that they do have the option to have some insurance.
I think there needs to be a happy medium here somewhere. Needs to be a solution to that problem, because what you said about in 8 years, yes, you're vested, but that doesn't mean you get insurance for 8 years. There needs to be a higher time limit on that.
Like you have to have worked for the county for X number of years.
Whether, I don't care if it's
20 years.
or 30 years or whatever it may be, whatever's decided. That's not 8 years. And then if you put in.
We can decide that. Right? We could make that stipulation.
Yeah, you could put that stipulation, or I think say 25 or 30 years, and you're a long-term employee of the county by saying that, then yes. 8 years, no.
I think that's state law. State.
I don't know what the rule is on that, but it'd have to be looked into.
Do you know, Amy, if about that?
I would always. And that's decisions, they need to be made today.
So,
Yeah.
so we could technically say, okay, we're gonna reinstate our retiree benefits with the condition that you have had to have worked for that county, maybe uninterrupted service for X number of years. And then if we can't legally do that,
Then we're not gonna say it.
And I don't know
I won't say it if we can't.
I wouldn't want to say it.
conditional.
Dwayne, you brought this up. Do you mind if I ask you a question, like point blank? Dwayne,
Yes.
so if it was brought back and the entire premium was put on the retiree, would that be something that you would be open to? Because you still have the option of it, but you're paying for it. And the county's not covering any of it. That still puts the retiree on the hook for all the claims coming in, but
So
That doesn't.
$531 a month.
You can go get a private policy for about what the county's paying.
see, then they have
That's-
options.
So
That's what-
that's not helping
They have
at all.
options. That's what I'm saying.
That's not helping it.
Then the retirees have options for insurance. That's all I was saying.
I can't speak for everybody.
I know, I was asking for you, sorry.
I have insurance beside the county. This is not for me.
Yeah.
So I'm insured. I've got insurance beside the county insurance. I'll be insured. But there's a lot of people that don't. And there's a lot of people that they need that 2 or 3 years or a year or 2 or 3 years to get to Medicare. And, you know, they really don't need to be working. They don't feel like working. They don't want to work no more, but they still have.
And most of those people are people who have been long-term employees.
There's the people that have spent their whole lives.
Mhm.
You're basically getting trapped. And that's not fair. Even though, because you're getting trapped, even though you've spent 30 years with the county or whatever, you're a long-term employee. And you still not 65. So, you know, you can start at 25 and only be 55 and have 30 years, and you got another 10 years to Medicare.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do?
Also, it would be 1544 if they were on an 80-20 plan. They would have to cover that fully 100% on their own. However, we offer COBRA, so you can be on COBRA for 18 months and pay that full 1544 because we don't charge any extra for them to be on COBRA if something was to happen or they were terminated from their position. So they will still continue, they can still continue on our insurance, you know, after they're terminated or let go or
How would they pay that if they don't have a job?
Exactly.
I know, that's,
Very rare that people
Right.
take that, of course, because they're having to pay that full amount of premium. So really, if you look at it that way, it's almost, you know, if y'all aren't gonna pay, there's really probably no reason to even offer it.
So having said that, I don't see the benefit of the county paying in at the expense of our current employees. The premiums going up there. And I know the people that are 60 to 63 are gonna hate me for saying that. But the 100 other employees are gonna be paying on the retiree claims that we potentially have.
But I honestly don't think that if they think about it and they think, okay, I'm working here and I may be paying, but eventually I may reap the benefit of that because I want to retire at 50 instead of 65 or whatever. That,
Every present employee is going to be an ex-employee one of these days.
yeah,
So it's going to apply to them too eventually.
I think it's just a benefit, for our employees, for working, that long and being able to retire comfortably if they want to retire a couple of years earlier. It's just an extra benefit. I don't feel whether or not if we have someone that is terminally sick and they end up on Cobra, we're still enduring those expenses on our insurance rate. So, I mean, either way, however, and people, if they're that sick, they will come up with that much money each month to
So-
have insurance.
is there, I mean, I know there's a lot of options. Instead of the county paying half the retirees, what if we did it 70-30? They pay 70, we pay 30. Instead of 50-50 or 60-40, yeah. We'll pay 40, they pay 60. Thoughts?
I think the key here is if retirees ever do come back on, if they do, then the key is making sure that age limit is out there, 30 years or whatever service. Then you can carry you on to Medicare. But if you have that many years service in, you're not that far from Medicare. At least it's something. That's better than we got now.
So you think that magic number is 30?
I don't know.
I mean, just throwing that out there.
That seems. I think it's livable both ways then, because if you say 25, then you about to retire at 50.
I'm still not for it at this point, because I think that possibly was one of the reasons why we dropped 2% in our premium increase instead of 9.9.
I don't think we dropped anybody, did we?
No, we dropped the premium claims.
Well, you mean our increase?
The increase dropped to 7.
How many people? Nobody, because we kept all the people on that were already on.
I don't think that
That-
affected the premium at all.
I think it
But we
was
can't prove that 'cause we had-
Because we just didn't have anyone retired that went on the insurance,
No.
because everyone else stayed on the insurance.
They're the exact same people that were on for the last 2 years.
Yeah,
What was the age limit when the retirees were covered partially? What was the age limit that would be enacted? How many years did you have to have, or
Tired,
it
I
wasn't
don't-
just retired, was it?
tired from the county.
Just that they retired, they drew their benefits. So.
I don't know.
One that's gonna be falling off this year and then 2 that's gonna be falling off next year. I'm not really sure how long they.
Judge, you get a request from Laura to be able to talk. I just meet people when they come in.
there are some of us who would like to talk to, well, yeah, I'm sorry, Laura, you should be here. It'd be easier, but, I mean, you can chat if that would be fine.
I mute everybody that comes in. just to
Oh,
keep the
well, we
problems.
could, So, wait, we can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah, we can hear you.
well, so I have, it's me and Captain Hajar is in here, and then Raquel was gonna step in here. So we've been listening with the Commissioners Court and to Chris Prock's response, he wanted to hear about why some people are on the 80-20 and why we like that compared to the HSA.
Mm-hmm.
I, for one, have called every one of my doctors for me if I was to be on HSA versus the 80-20. And on every one of my special doctors, I just pay just the copay. If I was to be on the 80-20, it would be a lot coming out of my pocket. Now, I understand not everybody can afford that, but to me, it's reasonable for me to be on the 80-20, even with all the medication that I take. I did also check on my prescriptions as well. That's the reason why I would prefer to stay on the 80-20. But I do understand on the HSA that if you make the whole deductible and pay the $5,000 and everything else is paid for. And I understand that, but not everybody can do that, and not everybody can go get a loan to do that either. And then also, taking away the insurance. So when we do retire, there are quite a few of employees that are upset about it. I, for one, am one of them, and there's several here. My office is full of employees right now. I do not want to work till I'm 65 and didn't have to draw Medicare. I don't want to. But since taking that away, I'm being forced to. I love my job and I love what I do, but I don't want to have to work to that age. And I understand where y'all are coming from with that as well. And having to pay out of pocket on people that's retired and that's causing the premiums. But these people that are complaining about having to pay for the retirees, well, they're going to be one of them as well. That's the county's going to have to pay for. That's
So-
just an input from me.
Laura, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been with the county?
Be 16 and a half years. So, and to me, since y'all took that away, and if you do approve it back, maybe look at people that are invested, what is it, 7 or 8 years, and grandfather those people in, but all we can do is voice our opinions, and y'all wanted to hear what we have to say.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
No,
it.
we appreciate that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and there's several other people here. Did you want to talk, Captain?
Yes, it's Marcel Hajar. My main thing that I was gonna address was earlier, Chris Brock was referencing us, the rest of the county, being responsible for the
Retirees.
retirees and the cost that we would incur due to that. I myself don't have an issue contributing to something like that. I also do plan on staying until I retire. I'm definitely not gonna stay till I'm 65, I can tell you that. It's a little bit longer. I've been here for 12 years. And, I plan on doing probably another 12, and that'll put me somewhere at a good point. But like I said, I can't speak for everybody, but I myself definitely do not mind contributing to something that I feel is beneficial to everybody. So,
Okay, thanks for your comments.
Thank you.
yes, ma'am.
Anyone else?
Say something.
Yeah, sure.
So I've been here for a total of 16 years, coming up on 16 years. And so I think I'm the youngest person in here. And for the
Easy now.
So as long as you guys will have me, I'm not planning on going. Just knowing that option is there. It says a lot. Me working here, I know that I have that option. It kind of helps you think, yeah, I don't know if I want to go somewhere else. Put so much time into a place. It feels good as an employee to know that, hey, this place cares about me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been here for 16 years, or other than 2 years that I left. Basically, all my working life, I've been here. It just kind of feels good to know that option. I'm not planning on going anywhere. And for example, on the insurance, so Baylor Scott and White owns me pretty much for my health issues. And it would be an act of Congress to get everything switched out as far as insurance goes. So I am on the 80-20. It would just be, getting in.
Well, hearing what everybody's got to say, I'm sure both options may stay, but, as far as the retiree thing, everybody's going to end up being a retiree one of these days. We all are. And I just don't like the idea that, okay, we're done with you, you're out. And that's kind of what we're saying. And somebody that's spent their whole career working here, that just doesn't have a good ring to it for me.
I got back from Kathy Davenport, and she said that we could set up, and the county could set up for requirements for the retirees insurance. So we could put a rule for the years of service or however, whatever stipulations, you know, in our
Policy.
Policy, yes.
Okay.
You said 30.
Well,
I'd lean more towards 25.
well, the thing is, there's more to that than just age too. There is, if a person becomes disabled, legally disabled, then that changes the rules too. But if you can get disability through Medicare, you get disability through Medicare. But it's more than just age. You need to think this through. If a person's able-bodied and healthy and you have no issue, then you need to stay. You need to work.
It's not up to us though, if we,
Huh?
it's not up to us though. I mean,
No,
we
it's
said
not,
that and they
but-
want to leave.
If, unless there's a reason you're leaving early, for health reasons, say you're only 45 years old, no.
Could you make it the same rules as
I
drawing
don't-
your retirement? Like, and if you're eligible to draw your retirement out of PPCRS, whatever.
Yeah, but that limit is 75, where you have to
You can.
combine your age with your years of service.
Or you can be 60 years old.
I like that though, if we can do it.
Huh?
I like that formula though, if we can do it.
If you're eligible to actually retire and draw your retirement, then you're eligible to get the retiree insurance.
I think,
I think that would be.
run the numbers.
Did you ask,
That doesn't sound bad.
can you ask Kathy if that's legal?
Well, she said we could put any stipulations.
Any? I do, since people are watching now, we need to remember this spirit when we go, if we bring back retirees and we add this stuff, if the premiums go up and the premium goes up on the employee, we need to remember that the majority of people said they're okay with that. I just want to say that.
They won't remember.
So everybody that said you're
None
okay
of
with
this
paying
discussion will
more
be important.
because it's gonna impact us down the road. Next year, if we have $100 premium increase, just remember that.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
Everybody remember that.
Have to, but I think the main thing here is we have to have an open discussion about this. If there's a problem, we need to discuss.
100%.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
The last 2
We need to
years,
bring it to light.
I mean, people coming to the court, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, the last 2 or 3 years, y'all been more involved and
Well, and the
just
Zoom helps
5
too.
people just making decisions for everybody. And
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
I know there's a lot of people upset with the retiree thing, and we need to discuss that.
I think
Can we
there
fix
needs to be
it? I don't-
a set percentage on what you cover too.
Right.
So every year, whenever if it goes.
I mean,
up,
right now it's 50-50.
Yeah. And every year you could change that. Cause right now you said it's not really a specific percentage.
It's close to
amount.
50-50, right?
More than we do.
Oh,
It's more like 57, probably 57.
33.
Yeah.
I think
Or
that
43.
So I think,
That was 10
I
off.
think if you set the difference higher, 70 to 75% on the retiree, that makes the able-bodied people, incentivizes them to work or to make that decision. Like, if I can find a cheaper health insurance somewhere else. But the people that are sick, you said it too, like the people that are that sick are gonna find a way to pay for it. So
Well,
I
I
think,
don't know. You may or may not, but
well, try to.
you can't print money. That's not legal.
You can't.
You know, it's like, does it every day.
The people that are more, I think having a higher obligation to the retiree puts more of that choice on them, retiree. Like, am I retiring just to reap the benefits, or do I really need the insurance as well? Because if you can retire early and find a cheaper insurance, they're gonna do it, and most people do that.
Give them the options, maybe.
The
like
people that need this
60,
the worst is the ones that probably can't afford.
Forced retirement.
Well, I know I need to go back. The church never paid for my insurance. I was privately. And the county pays more for my insurance than I did when I was private. The only difference is the county's paying for it. I'm not.
You probably had an HMO where you have a PPO.
Nope.
You had a
I had a
PPO.
PPO, singular, or not singular. Anyway, for 7 years, it was only 350 a month, 80/20.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I would like to know where you got that at, because.
I don't take any medicine, so
Well, whether or not, I don't either, but just saying, I'd like to know where you went through. Just saying. would
I
love
could
that
say it and y'all will stone me.
information.
I had to do it by law when Obamacare came out.
Oh,
So I
well,
had to
so
go
it's on
through-
income base, so a lot of people on income, it depends on what you made. So
Yeah.
Yes, I get,
I paid
so
three.
yes, you probably did only pay that. Correct.
Thanks for
Income
insulting
is
me.
income
Yeah.
based. Correct.
Pastor, don't.
Okay, so let's get back on topic.
And then real quick too, the retirees under 65 that are on there, we need to know, are they gonna endure that increase?
I think we grandfather them in with what's going on right with them and not change them.
Correct. But their
But any-
rates went up, so
Yeah, so keep the split the same,
we're gonna keep the split.
whatever we're doing now.
Split for the retirees.
57, 43.
57, 43. I have to.
And then we're absorbing their increase, but we didn't absorb all.
The 80/20.
20 increase.
So we don't absorb their increase?
I think we're gonna bring it back. We have to bring it back with a set standard for everybody.
I agree.
And if they choose that, they choose it. If not, because we had a set standard last year when we,
Like what about, how do y'all feel about 60/40? I mean, that's not a lot more than we're paying now.
I think that
Or
would be a good.
It's not a lot.
Let's have a set ratio, whatever it turns out.
60/40 seems fair to me. I mean, I'm sure they would prefer 50/50, but so what is that gonna be, Amy? Do you know? Is that right? 531.99?
So that would raise,
I don't think we got a quote on it.
That's current, but we don't,
That was last year.
yeah, so I don't know what the renewal rate, well, I mean, I don't know how much.
I'm assuming that ratio's kind of been the same all along or somewhat.
It's been somewhat fluctuated from I think at one time it was 52%. And then I think that they endured a couple of the increases in the last couple of years besides last year. So I think it's around 57. But
Me too.
You can start it.
Are you getting us a number, Amy?
I am working.
Okay,
Do you want the current of what it will be? Is that what you are trying to, if y'all did the 40-60?
sure.
Or y'all wanting to know the percentage that they're at right now at this time?
Just the total renewal for retirees. Because then we can break it down however we want.
Well, right now, isn't it 531.93? Is that right?
There's no renewal. I think
Well, no, that was,
Currently
that was
paying.
current, what we pay current, but we don't know what the renewal is. You're right.
So the renewal, if they're on the HSA, is gonna be that 1252.88. And if they're on that 80-20, it's gonna be that 1544.98. That's the total amount. So depending on.
1574 or
So
15.
44.98,
That was 1252, what?
and the other one's 1252.88.
88.
HSA. So so depending if they want to have the high.
What is this 1390.48 if you go down to the middle where it says copay plan?
What page do you want?
I'm just looking at their proposal, it's the very first page.
That, what was the number you were looking at? 13 what?
It says 1390.48, employee only. So we have a HSA option, what we currently pay, the renewal is 1252.88, and then it says the copay and this 1288.77. And the renewal is 1390.48.
I have no clue where you're at.
Right here.
Which page are you on?
Oh, that's the 80-20.
Huh?
Yeah.
She was saying 1544, but that's up and it
Here?
says 1500-NGS. I don't know what that is.
Well, because we gotta, I don't think that she's adding that.
Oh, okay, I see.
I don't think she added, if you add that 154.50 with
1252.
it, because that's what the county pays, is 1390.48. But the employee, she shows pays 154.50, so that total together. That's what hers is a little more. So that plus the 154.50 that she's showing on there to pay,
Oh, that's the.
you add it together,
Okay.
yeah. The 1390.48. So she broke it out to what the county pays and what the employee would pay, is what she did.
Okay.
And this one is a split between employer and employee. So she had that, the 80-20 at 154, and then the county paying 1390.48.
I see.
So if you add those together,
It comes to the 1546.
Mhm.
correct.
That's the total.
So the actual total for the retirees would pay for altogether is 1544.98 if they choose the 80-20. And if they're on the high deductible, it would be the 1252.88. So we would go up for the percentage.
Like 900 and,
Well, 40% of the
20.
1544 is 617.99.
right, and 926,
$18 and a retiree.
right.
So the employee only price would be what the retiree pays to.
Right.
Let's see what you're saying.
Six, seven,
Maybe it would be better to do a percentage, so on the HSA plan, we contribute X amount and we pay the whole amount for the employee. That's an amount, and then we pay that same amount towards the 80-20 plan. And then say 40% of that amount goes towards the retiree. And that way you're basing, every employee has the same amount of benefit, and then the retiree has a percentage of that benefit.
So what I'm getting is on the HSA, if the county would endure the 60/40, the county pays the 40%, we would pay 501.15. And, they would pay $751.73 a month. And then if they were on the 80/20, the county would pay $617.99. And the employee or
Pay nine
retiree would
something.
pay $926.99.
Mhm.
On HSA, it was 501.15, the county would pay,
Right.
Right, correct.
and then the
yes.
80/20, the county would pay what?
And that would be sitting at a 60/40%.
How much was it?
17.99.
Huh?
17.99 on the 80/20. So it's less than what the county's paying for active employees.
No. I don't know.
Is there too many numbers?
I would be open to that if we could add the stipulation of the retirement funding law, like the requirements for the drawing from the retirement requirement to be insured.
And I'm sure someone's got that policy. We probably can just adopt a policy that's
What
similar.
we can do is go ahead and approve for the retirees, and then the next commissioners will probably need to do an employee policy update and refresh that in our policy as well, because it's still in our policy that we do pay for retirees.
Mhm. So we need to
That's
change it
been
anyway.
eliminated
Right.
from our employee policy as well. So that's like one change that we were needing to make anyways. But with this, we can always add that stipulation and we can maybe.
Update that policy.
Currently, retiree eligibility is 75 years, correct? For
The numbers.
Years of service plus age.
plus age.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Is it 75, right?
I want to say yes.
Mhm. I think it
You
is
can also do it if you're over 60.
over 60.
If you're over 60 invested, you can retire. And there's a third one
It's a-
too, right?
Yeah, there's a few. different
There's
ones.
3 different things. Options.
Mhm, for
for
retirement.
retirement.
Yeah. I don't know. I've looked at that, but it's been a while.
I don't remember the one over 60.
Invested.
But you still had to have the 75 combined.
I don't know. I think I think what Leash said, there's 3 options or 3 or so options. You
30
can,
years of continuous service, 30 years of continuous
Maybe.
service, 60
at 60 years of age.
years of age, or we'll say it.
Right.
If we're bringing that back and you're the one who brought it up, does that sound agreeable?
It does to me.
Okay.
I think that's a very fair way to do it. That way someone will work later. They don't have to get the whole 30 years that they have, it's their career in plus the age.
Mhm.
I don't think
That's more than
I think that's very logical.
the 60/40, I think, puts it at a financial choice for the retiree too.
Yeah.
That's not,
At age-
that won't be a deciding point when you retire or not, but
But it is a
It is
benefit,
helpful.
some
it
benefit.
is a help. But
The
if
3
you're really in need for it, you have it.
The 3 options are age 60, if you've got 8 years of service. The rule of 75 years, total age plus service, or at any age of 30 years of service. So if you're 55 and had worked 30 years, you could retire.
That'd be all right. I'd be open to that.
Those rules are good.
I just know we'll be revisiting this in 4 years, so. Premiums are gonna skyrocket and we'll have to be making some big decisions in the next 4 years, so. Whatever we make today, will get us through this year. Yeah, just remember.
Those that
So,
are willing to do it, we're gonna have to, I mean, we're gonna. These aren't going down. We're gonna have to make some hard choices.
That's why we make the decision every year.
Right.
okay, what other discussions do we need to have, or is somebody ready to make a motion after all that? We
Have
understand.
you figured out all the increases now that we're gonna potentially look at with all those?
Well, 155,
What you been doing?
Meeting last week.
155.
On the insurance.
I mean, given, you mean a bottom line?
Propose something? No, I have it written down. I'm gonna just give this to you. So this is the employee HSA. If you do this times 12, you get an annual amount of this plus the annual contribution, and that's what we pay for an HSA plan per employee.
Per employee. Mhm.
Right. So this is the 80/20 premium
Uh-huh.
at 12 for annualized. So if you subtract out what you're paying for the HSA plan, it leaves a surplus of $2,005. Divided by 12 months, the employee would pay $167.10 per month to cover the remaining portion of that.
Okay,
They're getting the same benefit that this person gets. And then the retiree, you take that same benefit and give them a portion of it. And it comes to that out of them down to a monthly of $551, or you can change this percentage. And that
that's what
way-
we pay.
That would be what we
We
would
pay.
pay.
Mhm.
And so that would be every employee on every plan gets
The
the
same
same
benefit.
benefit.
But I think which thank you for writing that out. I like it, and you guys can look at this.
Just a suggestion.
But I thought we were talking about letting the 80/20 absorb the increase. Or do we want to just keep it fair across the board?
What do you mean?
Well,
Are you gonna look?
before we said,
Oh,
Well, before we said it was,
that on the HSA, the county absorbs all the increase.
well, it's $97.72 each. Which
91.72, yeah.
Which that doesn't cover all of the 80/20.
Right, no, it's 100,
It covers 100% HSA.
Right.
80/20.
right,
But the increases will be, the county's will absorb $97.72
on the HSA,
on both.
on both. And the employee is gonna,
Now, for the 80/20, the employee is gonna have a little bit of increase.
yes.
Go to 160.
And then,
What?
164.59 is what it would go to
Okay.
for their part.
then if,
Come up with 167.10. $3 off.
Close.
Close. Y'all want to look at this? I like that.
then on retiree, if, let's see, on a 60/40 ratio, the county would be paying 501.15. And 80/20 would be paying 617.99. Is that right?
That's what we figured. Yes.
And that's based off of the same requirements as retirement requirements.
Yes. Which we'll get a policy for.
Is that all right? What do you think?
But we'll do that next time.
Yeah, well, yeah, we have to. Or
Well,
well,
no,
we should.
we can do it now.
you still gotta have the dollar figure.
Oh, for retirement. Oh, the
requirement.
requirements. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
We
You
can,
can say
we can
retirement.
approve
Yeah.
the retirement, put them back in with stipulations to come.
Say requirements, but they're not here yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Any questions? Any questions out there? Comments?
What does everybody think that chimed in? Now you have to, what you think?
And also, you're adding on the dental for $29.10.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. That's, everybody better say good things about
And
it.
then what about the life insurance? Are we gonna leave it the same?
What?
Are we leaving the life insurance the same?
Okay.
Cause we have 10,000. Amy's proposal was to raise it to 20, which doubles the cost. Obviously, because double the benefit. Leave it the same for now.
That's it. Leave it same.
Okay, does anybody want to make a motion to all that? What we said? Mhm.
Do we does it have to be separate or can it? just be
Well, I think we can make one motion.
Blanket motion.
I'll move to continue with the same policy with Blue Cross Blue Shield with $5,000 deductible. The county will absorb $97.72 on both HSA and 80/20.
Is it 97? 91.72.
$91.72.
Okay.
It's 91.72.
Okay, the county will just absorb $91.72 on HSA and 80/20. The county will pay dental for employees $29.10. Retiree insurance will be on a 60/40 ratio. The county portion for HSA will be 501.15. 80/20 will be $617.99.
And those figures could change a little. So just bear that in mind that the county's gonna pay 40%,
This
right?
will be based off of the retiree requirements, which will follow.
Y'all good with that?
Sounds good.
Okay, we have a,
Oh,
Huh?
I was about to second.
we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you. That's always a long, hard discussion.
That was good then.
Yeah, and thank you for your input. We appreciate it. Now, everyone come sign up for dental this year, so we can keep that benefit.
But I have to get 50%.
Yeah, we have to.
50%.
Right. Okay, the next item on the agenda is to consider and or approve the county specific incentive. Okay, so right now, our county specific incentive is that every employee get a wellness physical once a year. But if you don't get that, so it really contradicts the incentive part. You're punished by us taking $25 a month out of your paycheck. So, and Amy, how many people were there last year that didn't get?
There was 10. I think there was 12 originally, but a couple people are not here any longer, but there was 10 employees
That didn't get their yearly physical, which I'm not really sure why, because we do have the on-site physicals. We offer every available, to get it, but I don't know what the reasons were.
If you're not on the insurance, you don't have to worry about it.
If you're not on the insurance, you don't have to, it's not a deal. But
It's about 102 employees that are on the insurance.
so my proposal is to change, we've always had this specific punishment to that incentive. And I would like us to see us incentivize that and really make it an incentive for people to go get their wellness by giving them, now this would definitely be up to their supervisor, the elected official or their supervisor on the day, but giving them one paid day off. If they get their wellness, they get one paid day off, which is cleared or okayed by their supervisor. If their supervisor doesn't want them taken off on July the 3rd because we're off on the 4th, that's totally up to them. And I've reached out to Stacy, our wellness consultant, and I've been going to reach out to a couple of the people that I've met at the wellness conference to see what their policies are. But most of them are one paid day off. I don't know what their policy behind that is. But I have not spoken to anyone that punishes someone for not doing an incentive. So
I think there's some counties out there that charge $50, $75.
if they didn't get their physical,
They didn't-
oh, so they really are people that punish, because most of the people I talk to incentivize it. Yeah, they give them a reward for doing that instead of a punishment. And I would just like to see us try that and see if that helps us get 125 active employees to complete it as opposed to 10 that don't. What do y'all think?
I said we tried.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
On like the tobacco, there's different things that Stacy said we could do.
We could do other incentives like the tobacco cessation. If you use tobacco, then you get punished, like you get dinged so much a month, you know? But, or if you use tobacco and you go through the,
These are free physicals. All you gotta do is show up. It seemed like a given to me, but.
yeah, and we have them on
I
site.
can't imagine why not doing, but that's up to them.
Yeah.
But do you know what that cost? To do this? Because when you have paid time off, I mean, that costs the county.
Uh-huh.
And the average cost of employees running about, for actual work days that you're letting off one, is about $450 a day. Or maybe a little bit more. What you're proposing is over $45,000 worth of lost time.
So do you have a better idea?
I have no problem with what it is myself.
With,
Did you say they already, sorry, I didn't mean.
no, go ahead.
Did you say they already get a paid day off for their physical day?
Well, they do. They take their sick time. I mean, they.
Oh, it's a sick day.
Sick
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Well, but they might only take 2 hours.
They get paid to go.
I didn't hear what you said. I didn't misunderstand.
Well, I
So
mean,
they take out of their
sick
sick.
day if they need to go do their physical.
Okay.
They're
They're
getting
gonna-
paid to get the physical. They're getting paid for the
10
physical. I mean,
They have to take
there's no
10 hours off. Or if they take the whole day of their sick leave
I'm
time.
not. No, we just give a lot of benefits here on other stuff, and I think this, for me, it's time to draw the line, so.
So you want to just leave it the way it is?
That's the way I'm gonna say it, but
We have,
if you don't wanna pay the $25, go get your physical.
but evidently that doesn't matter to some
That's
people.
not my problem.
It's $300 a year out of their paycheck.
I know.
Paying because they didn't want to go.
If they want If they wanna pay, they
Doesn't
can
make
pay.
sense, does it?
I don't, that doesn't make sense to me. It makes no common sense to
I've
me.
always wondered, of course, I go get my physical, I wait right up to the deadline,
Me too.
but,
I need to schedule mine too.
but, Much procrastinator. But, legally, can we charge people for not going and getting a physical?
Yeah, I guess we can. We've been doing it.
Like $300 and something dollars?
It's through a TAC program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is what we're.
Because we have forms we have to fill out if we participate in this.
Evidently, someone's charging more.
Like they agree to it.
Well, I'm not,
Okay.
you know, you say take a day off. Well, that sounds great, but when you take a day off and you have 102, 3 people taking a day off, you're talking about a lot of money.
So you're looking at 10 people didn't do it at $350 a year for 10 people. Where does that money go?
It goes to the general miscellaneous.
That should be incentivized for us that do go get our physical.
Can we raffle that off?
That money should go in this, not medical, it's not tax dollars.
Have a raffle next year.
It doesn't really go a real.
I agree. There should be
There, yeah.
some kind of incentive.
Yeah,
Use that
so
money
those who
somehow.
didn't do it, we should, that do, go get the physical.
Could we do
Do
like a
like in a
drawing,
banquet or
like
something.
5, 10, or use it for a banquet?
I don't know.
It's not tax dollars.
Use the Healthy County reward money that we get. So every program that we are involved in with the Healthy County program, like we get a percentage because we have a healthy county incentive, and we get a percentage if we go to the boot camp and, or if we have Stacy out to do a wellness thing. So that equals dollars that come back to the county, and we can buy things out of that, like we paid for our Healthy County consultant. Well, we didn't pay her, but we paid for the meal that we had that day out of our funds. We bought a scale for the courthouse, and when we had our little Christmas thing, we all used the scale, and we won't talk about that. But so we have money
I'm saying
available.
this money though.
Yeah, well, not probably that money,
Why not?
but,
We could pay the retirees.
I'm not sure.
That's premiums for that.
well, yeah,
It all works.
I'm pretty sure we can.
I'm all for using that money to
To incentivize something.
to incent, yeah, to do that for a healthy reason.
Yeah.
Great, that's fine.
We do
I'm
it
just
this
not-
other way, even just giving them a day off, we'll have less people go and get.
You think so? You think they're incentivized by crap, I don't want to pay that $25?
Yes, I really do.
Okay.
I mean, I
Which
see.
What if we do?
Some people ain't gonna worry about it.
Okay, so the only decision we need to make today then is, yes, we want to keep our incentive. We're not making any changes.
Yeah.
And then if at a later date, we want to revisit that, hey, let's incentivize with that money that,
We
then
could look further into that money. and
we could
what we
talk
can
to
do.
some of the other
Dollars, so it means it's
consultant.
free for our banquets, whatever we do.
The general fund, so it's going back into,
Yeah, we'll just change that.
We can
though.
put it wherever we want though.
We can change that.
what do you think?
But it's a good use.
Well, I think we'll have
Go
to
into a revenue, but we can
look into that.
look at,
Yeah.
doing budget of.
We always look at appreciation money, banquet stuff. That could be it.
I thank y'all for not doing your.
Or we can throw a banquet.
Yeah.
We can throw a banquet there to do the.
Then we don't have no money for the next year.
Before you get Plaza.
We can run out of money for the next.
Or you just do $500 winners. The people that got the physical, you break however much you have and say, we've got $2,500 in there. 5 people win $500 if you get your physical.
Well, that's an
Less
incentive.
people do it.
That's a double incentive. You get
Right.
punished if you don't, but we're gonna use your punishment.
What we use for money.
So your name's not going in the draw.
I'll get 2 physicals for that price.
Hey, what about the people that are saving the county money?
Yeah.
You don't have to pay.
Okay, all right, let's move on. So item 2 on the regular agenda is just to consider and or approve our county specific incentive. So if we do not want to make any changes, then we have a form we've got to send in with all the rest of this health insurance stuff today. We just need a motion to approve our county specific incentive, which is $25 deducted every month if you don't get your physical.
I move to continue with our county specific incentive as stated previous.
No, I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is to consider and or approve submitting an insurance claim for hail damage on the jail vehicle, the 2023 Ford Explorer. How much is that gonna cost?
I'm not sure. Monica was gonna get some quotes, but I haven't seen anything yet. We'll have to pay the $1,000 deductible. I haven't seen the vehicle. I don't know what kind of damage it is, if it's just cosmetic or. I know, like with Angelica, she said it had chipped off some paint whenever it got hit, so I don't know what kind of damage we're looking at. I just got the form. And we had decided to bring them all to court, so
You're just asking to.
So-
Insurance?
yes. So
So she was just gonna get some quotes to see how much the total cost was gonna be. I would,
I need to double check and make sure she has an email.
Right. I'm not sure we can make a decision, not,
Well, she's just asking to submit it for a claim, not.
yes, because the court decided that we wanted to have all those run through the court before they just started submitting all these claims for.
Oh, that's all she's asking now. Oops.
Well, if we submit the claim, then TAC just basically issues a check for whatever the quote is. And so that's gonna be a claim towards our insurance,
Mhm.
which will in turn raise our insurance rates.
Right. Cause if it's not gonna take a whole lot to fix it, we'll not wanna pay for it.
And my thing is, if it's cosmetic, doesn't even need to be fixed.
Right.
Right.
So you want to table it till you get quotes?
At least till we have some more info, I think. I have to have a motion for that.
I move to table the insurance claim for the 2023 Ford Explorer.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Item 4, consider and or approve an interlocal agreement to join the Choice Partners Purchasing Cooperative through the Harris County Department of Education. What is this? Get us.
Dwayne requested that we join this. I believe that Bruckner.
Yeah, I reached out to 4 trailer places in Amarillo. They're all different cooperations. So we're gonna
Okay,
stay up to date.
okay,
So there's like 30 now that they deal with. This is one of them.
okay.
Join it. It's just another purchasing co-op.
And it doesn't cost us anything to join it. Okay.
I'm sure, I mean, they've got all of other kinds of things like Bible orders or anything like that. Usually these cooperatives kind of have some specializations to them. They offer a lot of stuff, but different ones just offer different things.
This had been approved. Craig's already looked at it.
I actually did this morning get a email from Craig. And he said, and I have no legal objection to the form.
Okay.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I move to enter into interlocal agreement to join Choice Partners Purchasing Co-op through Harris County Department of Education.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 5 is to consider and or approve the contract with Intermedia for the phone system. I think most of y'all were able to sit in on the discussion. Is Russell here? Oh, there you are. I can't see over the podium. And this, we already have a contract with Intermedia because of the 360, right? Yeah, is that right?
That's correct.
And so this would be a month-to-month basis, correct? So that it's not binding as far as years, which would be an issue for us, but anything else?
The only thing that, for us to get the free phones, we have to keep them active for 12 months. That's the only stipulation.
And then if we cancel, do we pay that entire
We get
14,000?
prorated.
Okay.
So they don't, they're gonna also give a 45-day credit for the transition period. And they complete our support with Callion is due now, so we're not gonna pay that, or they won't let us renew unless we upgrade everything we've got, which is gonna be about $65,000 if we go that route. But the money that
We're not gonna
that
pay to
we're gonna
them.
spend on that to renew would be more than enough for us to do the transition to the intermediate. We'll go ahead and start it right now, not affect this, but
For the first 45 days of this new contract, it was free anyway, wasn't it?
They're not, yeah, they said that. They're not gonna bill us.
So there's no double billing.
Right.
And
They
that's
said
the
they'd
reason
make sure
for
of
the
that.
credit, so that, because they knew we'd be having charges from both sides, so they'll take care of it. They expect us to take 20 or 30, 45 days for the transition to happen. But, the other guys, talked to another vendor that, their price was about $600 cheaper, but gotta buy phones and we gotta go to another, vendor for the Microsoft build out for the back end. So
So there's multiple contracts
with the
that we,
media, it's, all is one place, and we're already set up with them. We got 1 year track record. They've gone above and beyond what they promised, for the Office 365, so I had no reason to doubt that it'll be as good this time, and they're the only ones that offered to put on a presentation like it. That's them wanting to do that.
Was this a little bit cheaper than upgrading our old phones?
Our old post is gonna cost $65,000
Yeah,
to replace all the server switches. The
And
last-
these are regular phones, they're not getting new phones, just
Right.
servers.
Yeah, that's.
And then wasn't there another 40,000 on top of that because of the price increase? Yeah,
With the intermediate.
How much is it? Sorry, I wasn't.
so they're charging us a certain amount a month, but because of their mistake, maybe they didn't give us the incremental yearly percentage increases because they kept switching office managers. And when they finally figured out that they hadn't done that, they're giving us the whole percentage increase in 1 year. So it adds to about $40,000 more than we're paying now.
For our current service.
Yeah,
How much? is
and their
it?
fault.
Media.
I know this.
30,000 a year flat. Rough.
It's free.
It'll be 20.
Under 50,000.
Yes,
22.19.
yeah, yeah.
It's 22.19 a month, and then 478 up front, and that's it.
As long as it's under 50,000.
So it'd be 26,000 for the year. Change 26.5. Too bad.
Okay, anybody got any questions for Russell?
the only logical option right now.
And I have to say, it's cool.
The presentation was really good. I know that it was a little overwhelming for a lot of us. But when we just boil down to it, there's gonna be a phone on everybody's desk if you want one. And it will operate pretty much the same way that this one does, but it has lots of additional features. And I think the issues that maybe some of the people were having with some of I think they can be resolved. I mean, that guy seemed to think that there was a way around pretty much everything.
And if you don't want all the bells and whistles, you don't have to use them.
Right. You can just pick the phone up and call someone.
Be handy to have.
Yes. Okay, any more questions for Russell? Or do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the contracts with the intermediate for the phone system.
And we don't really have an actual contract. They basically said, correct me if I'm wrong, Russell, since we already work with them and have the 360 contract, right? That a verbal, go ahead with this. And they're,
Just gotta give them an email confirmation. And they're ready
It's
to
a,
go.
it's a contract. So
yeah, absolutely.
As long as we do it a year.
Yeah, and keep the, yeah, but we can do it for a year.
Here is just for the price of the phone,
Right.
prorated. I don't see any reason. for it to change.
I agree.
Takes us a year to figure out how to use them. Or more. All right, I'm sorry, Gary, to interrupt you. Go ahead.
He already did.
Oh,
And Ben
okay.
did.
All right, great.
I'm done.
Waiting on Judge.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, we had a second. All right, yeah, you're waiting on me. I'm just talking. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 6 is to consider and or approve our local rabies control authority. We have designated that to Kalen over the last couple years. I think we renew this like every 2 or maybe 3 years. I can't really remember, but I talked to her. She's agreed to continue in that position. She's not paid for that. It's just if there's a rabies issue in the county, then she goes out and makes sure that all the process is taken care of. So do I hear a motion?
I moved to approve the local rabies control authority to be Kaylin Massengill.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All Right, item 7, consider and or approve Constable Alejandro's request to switch vehicles with Lieutenant Chief of Police. Roman? I have the original, but I need.
Why am I doing the same thing?
Oh, then that's
Crazy.
Morning.
Morning.
So, I have been in talks with Chief over here, in regards to switching vehicles. Reason for is his vehicle would come basically fully kitted out, lights, sirens, cage, in-car camera, everything that's needed to do transports, do traffic stops, things of that nature. Values of the vehicles are, I'd say there's probably a $700 difference as far as, or in ADA. There wouldn't be any, it's not like I'm buying the vehicle, basically, we would just switch titles over, and then he would get my car, I would get his vehicle.
Why does he want your car?
He wants it for as a supervisor vehicle, kind of a lower profile, just easier access for him.
And has the city of Stinnett agreed to this?
Has it been to the city council?
Yes, yeah. In fact, I had him do that first before I even brought it to y'all that way. If they said no, then there was no sense in me coming to y'all.
And miles?
I think he said is about 21,000, mine has 11,000.
So this is much better equipped.
Yes, sir. Yeah, like I said, so I did a quote for an in-car system for a camera. And the quote that I got was about $15,000. They said, oh, we can pay that over 5 years. I was like, well, that's my whole budget for the next 5 years or whatever it is.
Do they use the same system that we use? The in-car
Yes,
system?
ma'am. And that's, so when I initially took over, there was nothing. Webster and whoever was before him never had any kind of in-car. I was able to get a body camera from him. And then the in-car for that vehicle is also the same thing, it's watch card. So all the cameras would talk to each other. The only thing that I would need to go do from here on out is I need to contact watch card and get their storage program or whatever it is, like a subscription for that. But it would alleviate having to actually purchase a whole new camera system.
Which, doing that through your budget, I guess.
Right. And then, like I said, it comes with the lights, all the lights that come with it. He said everything would come on it. The only thing that we'd take out would be obviously the decals. It'd have radars. It would have, basically it's a fully equipped police vehicle. That's going to cost nothing.
What is it?
The Tahoe.
Tahoe.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any maintenance record on that, Tahoe?
I don't, but I can probably get him. I'm sure he's has the city do all his work on it.
And
What
so,
year is both of them?
I believe his is a 20 and mine's a 21.
so is it just like $125 to switch over titles?
I believe so, yeah.
20. We use credit card.
128? Oh, just 20.
Oh, just 28, not 100? Oh. I don't know why I'm doing that.
I have no issue with this. I'm fine with it. I think it suits you a whole lot better.
As much as I love the purple Charger, it wouldn't be my first pick for a patrol vehicle, but again, I wasn't here when it happened, so. I do get a lot of compliments, I will say that, I do get a lot of compliments, but
Is their Tahoe already marked?
it is, and like I said, they would remove the marks and then I
So
would just.
they're gonna remove them all?
And you'll put county ones on, because I know the purple one doesn't have any,
Right,
it's legally.
It will be marked.
yes.
I think it's much more appropriate in the job that and you can't do everything you could do because you didn't have all that.
Yeah, cause I'll go to houses where I do evictions and they have warrants, I can't transport them because A, I don't have a camera, and 2, I don't have a cage.
And in this day and age of cops are bad, I'm not taking any risk transporting male, female, or otherwise.
So why are we not taking the steps to get those in the car if you need them?
Because that's a lot of money. And I figure if I can do it for free, then.
Well, that was before this though. That's what I was asking about. If there's a need, how many times have you had to call the sheriff to come and get somebody? Couldn't do.
Handful of times.
But that's not something that a constable has to do. I mean, if you don't want to, you don't have to.
No, I mean, but, and then also having this vehicle, that gives me the ability to do more in a law enforcement role. I can run traffic, I can assist, I can assist county and local a little bit easier because it is a marked vehicle. If I respond to a car or respond to a call in my car, most people don't perceive it as a law.
Yeah, but technically, you're supposed to have your car marked. That's one of our rules.
And it's in statute,
Right, yeah.
unless the court gives an exemption for a law.
I can't support it until I get like a maintenance record and a breakdown of what has been done on that. Because if the engines or the transmission's bad.
I would like to see that too, maintenance record and minutes from their city council where they approved this. And the fact that they're going to give us all that equipment too, I mean, I just find that so hard to believe. If you could just get those things, we could, I mean, would y'all be okay with just tabling it until we can get those things? I mean, the vehicle's not going anywhere, right?
Right, no.
That's fine.
I don't mind tabling it, but I think it is needed. At least to be a bigger vehicle. I've never been for chargers of any sort in law enforcement.
As long as it's okay and everything, it would certainly fit the need a whole lot better. And whatever reason they want the chargers, up to them.
Of course, I'm a big guy, so little car.
Do I have a motion then
I'll make a motion to table it
till we get that info?
further in.
Motion and second, any further discussion on that? All in favor? Okay, thanks. And
Thank you.
Roman, you might remind me, I'm that on the next agenda, send me an email.
Yes, ma'am, I can do that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And if you get that info and you want to email it to me, then I can push it out. So everyone has a chance to look at it.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, item 8 is to consider and or approve the proposed plan for the Ranch Market Building and going out for the RFQ for architectural services. So the proposed plan for the Ranch Market Building, which I'm calling the Ranch Annex, but we don't have to call it that if y'all don't want to, is to move the library into one half of it and the extension office into the other half. So those two would be housed in that building. I think I emailed you all a proposed RFQ. Did y'all have a chance to look at it? Judge Luton sent it to me and it was one that PRPC drew up. So I feel fairly confident that it's got everything on there that we need. If we decide to go out, then we can use it and get some dates going, get this process underway. So does anyone have any thoughts on the proposed plan or an alternate plan, or like to see something else done over there?
Is the library okay with moving it over there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've talked to Nancy and she's gone over there with us and looked at it. We're just moving the Stinnett Library over there. Yeah. And getting them out of the courthouse. I think it'll be better access for the public. So.
In the extension, sir.
Extension. Mm-hmm.
There's still one thing here before we get carried away with this, which is obviously this will be done with ARP.
Right.
So what other projects, before we get carried away and say, okay, we're gonna, whatever a bid may be. I don't want to interfere with any other projects that somebody may have or want to do before the end of the year. Because this money has to be encumbered by the end of the year. So I'd like to know what else are we looking at before we.
Nobody's come at me with anything. I mean, there was
The
something.
museum cameras are still, I'm still waiting on a quote from the museum cameras for about a month now, but I would like to, with that children's area, I've got one, the only big project I've got, I mean, it's not gonna take all that money. But I wanna try to waterproof the library and the kids section as much as we can, because the only part that's Adobe, and Nancy can tell you, I mean, I've said this several times, it's cracking and there's the Adobe's, it's a matter of time before we're gonna have an issue there. And I wanna
Before wall falls off again.
don't say that. The scary thing, so I have people that look at it every year. Carl that he shimmed the beams, they look at it every year to kind of see. I like to waterproof it and paint that one color, because when they constructed the club room, it's a different color than the back.
Mhm.
And that's the only issue or the only project I've got on my plate between those and the cameras.
There's
We have about 557,000 left in the ARP.
There's a couple of things here at the courthouse that really need to be done, and one is putting a chain link around the generators and the chiller. And it should have always been fenced in. But, and then replace all the blinds in all the offices, which, gosh, I forget now, 100 some odd windows, 200 windows. It's gonna be pretty expensive. I can come up with some more if we need to do it, but we got plenty of things we could do. But I just want to make sure that any projects is covered. before
We've got
get too
a couple
carried
of them over there at the annex, floors and windows and walls.
You got a couple you want to do?
Mhm.
The good thing though, people relying on the ARP has not used the contingency line item. We've got like 325 in that left still, right? Because there was, what did we take? Oh, the jail, the AC thing, well,
That what?
the budget amendment that we approved today. The jail had AC repairs. That's the only thing that's been taken out of contingency. So we have 325 in that.
1,000 left.
In contingency. Craig just texted me and said that he has a project too. Craig Jones has a ARP project that he'll be submitting for doors in his office to secure protected criminal history.
Yeah,
And he said he'd talk to Gary about it.
yeah.
I mean, all this stuff has to be encumbered by the end of the year, so.
December 31st. December 31st.
Right.
Just to clarify, because there's two ends of years.
Right. Yeah, by the end of the calendar year.
Calendar
End of
year.
the calendar year.
But, you know, I do want to fix up your annex a little bit.
Well,
I can see this.
and we've got to go out for RFQs anyway.
And we have to get bids, and we need to know what them bids are.
Exactly. We can't really even do anything till we kind of know what we're working.
Cancel the biggest student extravagant, so.
Could be.
By dividers. We just put dividers in there.
Yeah.
So, okay, so with knowing that if anyone's listening and they've got ARP, they better get them in.
Yep.
But item 8 is our proposed plan, if we move forward with it, is the library and extension. Does anyone else have anything? Like they want to move someone else over there, or they want to do something else with it, or?
That's what the committee has chosen to do there.
Yeah.
Committee chose it.
Yeah, everyone's okay with that.
It's very logical.
And are y'all
Idea.
good for going out for RFQs for architectural services? We'll see what we get back, and
Yes.
then we can go through that scoring system and score them and decide which one is going to meet our need. Okay, do I hear a motion?
Move to go out for RFQs for large architectural services for the ranch
And,
next building.
and to approve our proposed plan for the building?
Yeah. Approve the proposed plan.
Okay.
Was that real? Yeah.
I just, yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Well, you're not sure about moving the library and the,
No, this is the plan I'm worried about.
well, all I'm talking about is what offices we plan to move over there.
That's okay.
Yes, okay, so we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 9, consider and or approve the law enforcement support office surplus application. I think we've done this every year. Andy sent it over. It's just so they can take advantage of surplus things. I think we authorize it every year. And I think y'all had a chance to look over it. Any questions that I probably can't answer? Do I hear a motion to approve?
Click the wrong one.
It's-
I move. Were you gonna say something else? Jen?
No,
Oh,
I was just reading.
okay. I move, I move to approve the law enforcement support offices surplus application as submitted by the Hudson County Sheriff's Department.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 10 is to consider and or approve paying down the sheriff's deputy comp time. So Amy sent us a list of all the comp time that has been accrued.
So
Is this is not just sheriff's department, right? Oh, this is just sheriff's department.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we haven't got our quarterly in yet because it's not until next month, but my only issue is one at 448. According to the Fair Labor Standards Act, after 480, we have to pay their comp time, no matter what.
Pay it back down to 4, whatever.
80, but it's gonna be.
Every time we'll be paying.
I've sent out letters to the sheriff's department and every department on the comp time and what it states in the employee handbook as well. However, the only issue that we're having is the sheriff's department, of course, following on that. However, they have been shorthanded.
Right.
But we have sent those out and I have talked to Hajar and they did move everything down to 10 hours. So they're now working 10-hour shifts instead of the 12. And I know that will help as well, but he has 31 more hours and this was as of June the 9th. There's another one that's high, 295. This one is supposed to be going on vacation this month. However, apparently they're gonna do whatever they want. This is what.
Laura's still on there. Is Laura
Instead of
still-
take the call.
is Laura still watching?
Oh.
We had to look.
But they have.
Go to
to take some time
participants.
Before they take vacation.
At the
Correct.
bottom.
However, it's not being enforced and they're stating that they're not having to enforce that, even though that's
Well,
what.
as the treasurer who does payroll, you can enforce that, right?
Yeah.
Because that is county policy.
Yes, so,
Law enforcement's a little different though,
yeah,
fortunately.
so I don't really know it being,
Oh, there she is. Admit her in.
so that's kind of the other issue. So the reason I'm here today is just because it's only 31 more hours to 480, which we will have to pay out according to the Fair Standards Labor.
Do they have the money in their budget to pay out?
They've been so shorthanded, so yes, they do have money in their budget, but it would be in that.
Laura, can you hear us?
He went back out.
Oh, she was having a hard time connecting, I think.
Because one of the ones in particular that you're speaking on is can we say, I don't want to say names, but like
Yeah.
position wise, there's two that have the same position, that it's drastically different. And so I don't know why one's not.
Yeah, Laura, okay, yeah, we can hear you now. Did you have a question for?
So is Hajar still with you?
Yeah.
There he
Yes,
is.
he's here.
I am.
So there's two, I don't want to say names, but there's two positions. It's the same position. If I'm misunderstanding, please correct me, but one, as of the report I've got, has 63 hours and one has 372 hours. And now it's like 400 something, I guess. Why, can you tell, why is there such a vast?
Why are they getting
difference
so much
in those?
overtime?
Well, that too, but why is there such a vast difference in that if it's the same position? Technically. Do you see what I'm saying, asking?
Yes, no, I understand. So number one of the positions has been that way for a while, and there's some adjusting on hours that goes on. The other one is falling in more of an active patrol position rather than any administrative position. So there's coverage going on for patrol itself. Whereas, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, finish your thought, sorry.
So whereas the first position that I was discussing was actually, there's patrol coverage, but it's sort of on a limited basis. It doesn't work exactly the same. I know that the title wise, they appear to be the same,
Okay.
but functionality, no, they're not.
We hired a new person, but we just don't throw them out on the street.
Was there another question or?
That was mine. Is this, well, I guess I do have a second one.
Okay.
Is this, what is, it seems like for 3 years now, we've talked about this several times. What is the solution? Paying it down is not the solution. What do you see as the solution that we're gonna work? I know you said we went to 2 10s, I guess, like 10-hour coverage shifts. I mean, do you think that's gonna solve that? What's the solution that we're looking at over the next 6 months?
When we're full staffed, if we ever got to that point where we were full staffed, that would help a lot, wouldn't it?
So I
If
think
we got there.
the main issue is the staffing. Just being understaffed. You said 3 years. We've actually been down people for 3 years. It's just recently we've been down quite a few more. We got to a point to where we were 4 down. That's nearly half our staff. There's, we run a 10-man patrol. So it did a huge number on it. As far as adjusting the hours, the 10 hours, it will alleviate it, but there's nothing that gets rid of it other than staffing. The more people that we have, the less people that we have to have on comp time. If we have full staffs, when we give people time off, which everybody, is entitled to their vacation, to their holidays. Unfortunately, people get sick. Different things occur. And then, so when somebody's off, if the shift is running short enough with 2 men, then one's out, then we have to replace it with somebody else. The way the shifts are actually designed are to have 3 or 4 people on. Unfortunately, we have not had that though. So when somebody's out, if there's only 2 people on a shift, we have to add another person on there to get it back up to 2.
And are we adding exempt employees and officials to that schedule as well?
Yes, we previously, that's not, we're at this very moment, we don't have anybody that is, so we had pushed chief to a day shift. I'm actually working a weekend shift now, so I'm not exempt, but I'm working, Monday through Sunday. Chief was actually going to be working Monday through Sunday, and he's exempt. Sheriff actually worked on, I don't know what shift it was, but it was night shift. So there's stuff areas that we put exempt employees in to try to alleviate that. But once again, it was just one of those things. Night shift was running. There's 2 different shifts that we had. Each shift actually only had 2 people employed on it. So if one person missed, there was nothing we can do but pull from elsewhere. We could run short and just have one person on a shift, but we try not to do that. It's just not the safest thing to do. So currently and it's not, I mean, this isn't foolproof, but currently what we're trying to do is adjust the number of hours. So we have the scheduled hours in a 28-day cycle down to 160. So it gives us a little bit of leeway. So there's an 11-hour gap that has to be covered before the mandatory comp time kicks in. Previously, we were running at 168, so there was only a 3-hour gap that was having to be covered. So before the comp time kicked in. We are where we can. We're trying to get the comp time adjusted out on vacation or in place of vacation or in place of holiday or anything else. We're running into an issue with the holiday because we have 3 months we have a 90-day period to take the holidays. And so we're not able to replace the comp time for where they're taking holidays.
But in regards to vacation, are you going with the county policy that says use your comp time first before vacation?
So the county policy, if you read it on the first line, it is not addressing the sheriff's office. So
No.
What's the first line, if you don't mind me asking?
Don't have it directly here in front of me, but yeah, I can go get it. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Where?
I can go grab it.
Yeah. I'll just say something. I do know that on the comp time that some of them that do have that is up there. And then those people, and I know who you're talking about, and they also have like maybe 200 hours of vacation or 160, something like that. Well, if we make them use all their comp time before their vacation, then they will not be able to use their vacation. But you can only roll over 40. But yet, with the fires and everything that happened and that a bunch of them did earn.
No, they didn't earn that much. And we paid out the buyers already.
Yeah, we already paid out the
Right.
back. It says,
So I've got the manual pulled up.
He's fixing to come in here.
That's fine. The eligibility says all full-time employees shall be eligible for vacation benefits. I don't know if that's the sentence he's talking about or.
No, I think he's talking about the comp time.
Oh, I thought you were talking about vacation. Okay, my bad.
That's okay.
Then I'll drop out a second.
No. Chris, can you pull up the comp time?
Oh.
Okay, Haji's in here.
Yes,
Or
I
Hajar.
heard him say that he had
All right.
gotten it, so I didn't.
We call him Haji.
I was trying to print it up and I'm pulling it off an email and I'm not the best with computers to begin with, so it was probably gonna take me 5 more minutes, but I heard that you had pulled it up.
No, he pulled up vacation, not the comp.
Yeah, that's my fault. I can't find the comp time page.
Page 4, page 62. Oh, no, that's payroll compensation.
So on page 67, employees shall be required to use compensatory time prior to the usage of vacation time.
Oh, I see where he's talking about it though. So page 62 of the manual, the sentence that he's talking about, it says this policy shall apply to all county employees except law enforcement employees.
Right, exactly. So what we're trying to say is how can they be forced to take their comp before their vacation?
Says compensate, well, we can decide that because it's the second sentence says compensation for those employees shall be handled in accordance with the policies established in the sheriff's department with the approval of the court.
Sure.
So, I mean, if the sheriff's department wants to make that policy, I mean, they can do that.
So, and I don't think there would be any question on whether or not we're all on the same page. We're trying to burn the comp time. We don't want it built up to where it is either. And in reality, we would prefer our guys to not have to work this many hours. And the guys that are actually working that many hours, I'm sure don't want to work that many hours because they're getting paid the same exact things. The only problem we run into is our ability to get rid of the comp time once it's on the books. So we have an issue, and it's not, like, I don't wanna, you guys to feel that we're on a different page. We're all on the same page. I'd like to get rid of the comp, I would like to zero out everybody's comp time
Mhm.
and stay there if we could, because those guys need to be home with their families, you know, rather than at work.
So the policy, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's disagreeing with you. I think we are on the same page for sure, but what is on that question on the vacation versus comp, what is the sheriff's department policy on that? Like, they can take vacation first over comp time? Is that in policy, or that's just?
So there's nothing standing in policy regarding comp time and when it's to be taken. So we don't have a direct policy covering anything of that nature.
Okay.
So I'm not arguing that it can be replaced, but my argument would be that currently, and then this would also attach to vacation. Currently, we're having an issue with it with holidays because we have to take the holidays within a 90-day period. And I know they've granted us extensions, but the only problem with the extensions is it's not on paper. So if we could get something written on paper saying these guys aren't going to lose the time within that 90 days, then we could make sure that they burned out comp time first. As far as the vacation, it would stand the same, but they can only carry over 40 hours. And some of these guys are getting, 120 hours in a year, and they have so much comp time, so they could alleviate a little bit of it, but they're only allowed to carry over 40 hours of vacation. So we'd have to make sure that they're not getting, but mistreated at the same time.
Right. And I know you're tired of me talking, but I have one last thing. Looking at this policy, on that second sentence, I think I know you said you didn't have anything on the books, but it says that compensation shall be handled. And lawyer terms, I mean, we have to have those policy from the sheriff department approved by us to even mandate what that's going to be. So if that's not a policy on the books, can we make a note to get something going?
Yes. So I have spoken to Chief Deputy Trahan, and I'm not 100%, but I believe that he has been in contact with Craig in reference to this. I don't know exactly what was said or what occurred from that point on, but I know this was probably, I don't know, I spoke to him about it a couple weeks ago. So I know there's been something, and our intentions are there to get something set in place. So it's sort of a waiting game at this point.
I just don't want either of us to be in trouble for not having something on books.
Sure. No, I completely agree.
So to go back.
Thank you, though.
What we're voting on today is the payout. How much in comp time?
Well, we have to pay out some of
If it
it.
goes over
Nobody's
480,
there.
we have to
Right.
pay it back down.
Yeah.
So we're,
Pay that, what, how much?
480 hours. Once it goes over 480, we have to pay it back down to 480, but when.
But that next month or in the next paycheck, it's gonna be right back up there again.
Can we avoid this, Ajar? Possible. I know you can't say yes or no, but with these changes and that other person that close, can we avoid having to do it every time, having to pay it out?
So as we move forward, I believe so. If our staffing stays at an appropriate level. So right now, by the 1st, so here in a few days, night shift will be at full staff, and we shouldn't have to adjust anybody out or give comp time. Whether or not it stays that way, I mean, I really wanted it to be full staff 3 years ago, and just, we're at just sort of an odd place. I mean, I think, and I don't know 100% exactly what the intentions were with the policy, but I think we were going to internally limit the amount. So adjust it from the 480 to, don't put the ceiling as high.
Any other questions?
And what's the highest you said?
480.
No, what's the highest right now it's 420?
448.75 as of the 9th.
Does that sound?
You have the money in your budget to
I'll hit the other one.
lower this?
Where did she send that?
If that's questions for me, and we've had you know, a lot of available positions that we've been unable to fill. So I don't think there's a question of whether or not there is actually the money in there. I believe that it would be, but.
An option. Email.
I guess.
Aren't they also using some of that unused payroll for their program to pay for that one employee going to? But there's still enough after that. To
I
cover
would
as
have
a-
to sit down and look at the budget, get the exact amount or what they want to pay down before I could give you an exact amount. Because from this, it shows $37,000. However, I'm not sure if you want to pay everyone out in the sheriff's department. Or pay them down to a certain point. I'm not really sure what you'll want to do. I just know there's one that we will have to once he reaches up to 480. That seems like the mission.
And what about the employees that are administration, like that aren't law enforcement?
Yeah, we just put the whole sheriff's office on here, so there's only.
But they have to pertain to the same policies that everybody else does, because their comp or their vacation.
Yes.
Comp time or
Yes.
vacation.
On the regular. Exactly. So there should be no reason that any of the administration should be over the 40 hours. And those were for travel, it's traveling. That's the reason they had comp time. They were like meetings, stuff on the weekends.
Hey, did y'all have any more questions for the sheriff's office?
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, we appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay, so Amy, what do you need from us today? Just
I just needed to know, once it hits the 480.
how far down do you want, do we want to pay it
Do
down?
y'all want me just to pay it down to the 480? Do y'all want to go ahead and maybe
Zero it out?
Zero them out? Do y'all want to put them down to 40? At what point do y'all want me? Because once when I say they hit at 480, I legally have to pay them back
Back to 480, but that's just gonna,
because we're gonna be doing this probably once a month.
Well, I know it seems crazy, but I recommend just doing it over 480, paying it out, and then we revisit this in January.
because I mean, possibly if we pay it back down to 480, then next month, pay it back down to 480. I mean, eventually, maybe if we got full staffed, that
That could be used.
some of it could be taken off,
When he said that he didn't think that he would hit 480 with some of the changes they made.
right? That maybe he wouldn't keep accruing it.
Paying it all out is crazy.
Right?
No.
If you
We not
pay it
have
down,
money for that.
and then we forget that we authorize paying it down, I mean, are we just doing a one-time pay it down and then see how it goes? Or would it be,
Anything over the 480, I have to pay it.
yeah, I get that. So I just say go with what the law already says. And we don't have to mess with it.
And
That
if
a
they
motion?
add- and if they
Yeah.
internally change that to lower, then that's
That helps us out too.
something they
Yeah.
do internally.
Yeah.
Do you want it to be?
I think we need them.
Yeah, we do need a motion.
Oh, we do. What are we motioning? Just to go
Well,
by the law?
yeah, I get, well, we're not doing anything different, so we probably don't,
Okay.
because we're just following the law.
A motion that we obey the law
Obey the law, that's always good.
in the world.
All right, did y'all have any further discussion on that? Y'all are good.
Yeah.
All right, item 11 is to consider and or approve the 2024 budget calendar. Carrie and I got together, worked on the calendar, got all the dates for when we need to meet. The you know, the required dates for certain things and to give her enough time to get what she needs to get done once we actually adopt a budget. So if y'all are good with that, now bear in mind, there could be additional meetings that we need to schedule, but this is just our proposed calendar that we're gonna follow. Do I hear a motion?
I move to approve the proposed 2024-25 budget calendar.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 12, consider and or approve any ARP grant projects. I did not have any this time.
And I just wanted to make sure that we're aware, we do have $557,000 in that money, and it has to be obligated by the end of December.
Okay.
An obligation means that there has to be a written contract or a PO has to be issued for an order that's been made.
Okay.
It can't just be, we say it's gonna be.
All right, item 13, consider and or approve the burn ban or rescind the burn ban. I didn't even look that up. I forgot. It's I always forgot on him. You look that up real quick? Which I don't think we're even close to a burn ban, but
Did it rain in Border last night?
No.
if it did, it was after I went to bed.
It rained in Fridge
Oh,
at 10, just sprinkled
Yeah.
quite a bit for an hour and a half.
Read at 395 is the highest.
395,
252 is the average across.
252. All right, so no change on that. Item 14, consider and or approve request for use of the club rooms at the Borger Library or Fridge.
I have nothing.
November 16th, there's a birthday party.
I hear a motion to approve.
Make motion to approve. They will celebrate their birthday.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Give permission to celebrate their birthday.
Item 15, consider and or approve line item changes, transfers and or budget amendments.
I have just a regular budget amendment. One is to, amend the sheriff's car repair and maintenance budget for some insurance proceeds that they received. I didn't put the entire amount in their line. They didn't spend it all. So the rest of it just goes into the general fund. Another budget amendment for the, donation that was approved last commissioner's court. And then also a budget amendment to those proceeds of the sale of the auction truck. Road and Bridge, so put her to their line. And then just some department line transfers to cover expenses. And then the second one is out of the contingency, Dale is going to have to replace an air conditioning unit. They moved some money around so that we could issue the PO, but requested that we move some money out of contingency to cover that unforeseen expense. Since it was 17,000.
Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the budget amendments as presented.
Second. Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 16, consider and or approve advertising, opening, accepting or awarding bids.
When we were ready for the bid for the airport manufactured home, and we received. Technically, we received 2 bids. However, one bid didn't submit all of the required documentation that was requested, so I'm not sure if we have to throw that one out. They did give us an amount. They just didn't turn in all the affidavits that were requested as part of the bid. That was Emerald Home Center. They bid $140,406.42. And then Clayton Homes, they returned all of the required documentation. Their total package came out to $132,88.42.
Are both homes that were bid just exactly the same 3 and 2, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths?
The Clayton Homes has a It's like a family room, so it's 32. I would recommend the 140. But like she said, they didn't turn in all the bathrooms.
It's tough as a taxable entity. You can, you kind of have to play the, if they don't turn in all the paperwork, that's usually an out. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. And definitely if they're the highest bid, you don't go with them if they didn't submit all their paperwork.
It's the one I would have gone, but yes, they did not turn.
So why did you like them better?
Which one did I like better?
Why did you like it?
Well, if you wanted to go with them,
To me, in my opinion, it was better built. But I'm not much of a construction guy. That's maybe the only reason I like them better. But that's what it is, that they done the paperwork.
They were actually a little bit more helpful too, weren't they?
Work as far as, hey, what do you need? We're doing this, what dates, what are the deadlines? Clayton Home contacted me the Friday before the date. And it was something on their end, they hadn't seen the email, but they managed to get the bid in on time. So if it comes down to legally, like I said, I recommend 140, but legally, if it comes down to it, I say we'll go with 133.
Well, I mean, price does matter, but we're actually going with getting the job or doing their due diligence for the bidding. I don't know, you either do my RFP or you're out. I mean, I've never wavered from that as a person. So.
Well, that 133 was a different home, I think. The way I looked at it, it was completely different than the 140.
Did they?
Two of them had the
Well,
140.
and that's kind of what Joanne's saying is this should not even have been on the tabulation sheet. I probably shouldn't have even included it.
Yeah, exactly.
The 140, yes. Because it didn't meet the RFP specifications.
You could throw all these out and start over too.
You could do that.
Good.
how much money do we have?
What is the time frame on that? If it's
think-
gotta be spent.
I haven't spent in 2 years from the date of the,
Fire or the loss? So it's been a year.
Yeah,
When will it be 2 years?
it was like April.
April.
So you got a while.
Yeah.
what I figured, there was 11,000 left of the last bit of money that we're gonna get if we spend a certain amount.
Well, if you're not happy, or well, I should say unhappy, but
And it
if
was,
you want to look at other options, I would start over from scratch and, I mean, you can go outside to other places. This ain't the only place.
and it wasn't a bad home, I'm not saying it was.
And I've sent to lots of different manufactured home dealerships. I've sent some to Lubbock, there's some in Oklahoma City. We actually had one request from like San Antonio or somewhere. So,
No,
but these are the only two that actually submitted.
Actually came through with the bid.
Well, these one that I.
Yes.
Right. Did it correctly.
you do have time, so, you could always start this process over again.
We can, my position is if we move with the 133. That's what I recommend.
What do y'all think?
And so we're gonna get, how much, you said there's only 11,000 in the proceeds we got?
No, if we spend about 140 or 145, I think there'd be 11,000 left,
After.
but that's,
We have 187,822 to work with, but we spent 36.
36,000 on cameras.
So we have
That leaves
151.
100,000. Give or take.
So
You're not
that's-
unhappy with the 133 house.
It's not a bad home, like I said. Personal preference, I would have gone with, but it is what it is. They didn't turn in the paperwork. So it's not a bad home. I mean,
Well, we need to spend how much to get the extra money back? Or spend to get all of it,
150,000.
150. So
again, go out again, like you said.
might be better.
Yeah, don't just settle. I mean, if you wanna keep looking,
I think you could reach out
yeah,
other places and you can,
let's do it
you
again.
put a little work in this, it's kind of like vehicles, you work at it, you can find them.
Sounds good.
Do you mind doing it again?
I just need a motion.
I move that we do it again, that we go out for, that we reject, so I have to reject these bids, don't I? Okay, I move to reject the bids as presented.
You can make a joint.
Okay, and then I recommend or move that we go out for bids again regarding this per the specs as presented.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
A weird motion.
No, it just sets a weird precedent for me.
Okay, motion carries. We'll go out for bids again.
Yeah.
You want to sit down? Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Item 17, consider and or approve donations to Hutchinson County. I did not have any. Did anyone else? Okay. 18, discussion of county judges and commissioners precinct daily operation. Anybody got anything going on?
We had a discussion about applying,
I know, I'm so excited about that.
and then the city board wants to do their thing, so.
It's in conjunction with the Boomtoberfest.
Right.
That they have a fly-in. It's not an air show.
No, but they are talking about a car show,
Right,
but they won't have wings.
right.
So.
What?
Well, it's more like an airplane show. They'll fly in, people can look at
Yeah,
it.
they can look at all the planes that flew in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clubs that do that, and they come in and they're gonna have breakfast for them and then I'll have a little car show, and I told them I'd help them with the security. So.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Mhm.
We're about done with the penthouse windows, so
Do what?
the penthouse windows on top of the courthouse, we're about done with those.
Oh, good. Anything else? You guys got anything going on?
Like I said, just waiting on we have people that are doing the work and looking at how much it's gonna cost, if I'm gonna have to officially go out for bids for the library or not.
Hmm.
Then just waiting on the cameras.
Okay.
Reason.
So I've been working with Jerry. We have a lot of nuisance things that we have to kind of work on that has nothing to do with the fires, just continuing the nuisance abatement aspect of the county's responsibility. And also working with Amy and Kim regarding septic stuff, because those go hand in hand. And we have 9 open septic complaints that we are going to be working to get those ratified. I say Jeremy will be working to get those ratified to kind of figure out what it is. And still, we're a little unsure exactly what our steps are when we find a violation on the septic. We know what the law says, but what does Hudson County want to do? Those are what we're kind of kicking around, and I'll be presenting that to the court probably in the next. I want to get through budget season and then presenting kind of a plan on what we're going to do with nuisance abatement and septic.
Anything else?
I have
Yes.
a brief thing on our vehicle insurance. It's time to do the renewal. It looks like we have full coverage on everything that is 2011 and newer. Do we want to keep that or do we want to drop any of the? It's something we need to think about, or we need to change.
When does that insurance renewal have to be in?
Have to submit it by the.
Oh, well, we're gonna have to leave it the same because we didn't put an action item on the agenda.
That's what I kind of thought.
But if we want to change it next year, we can.
It got
Yeah, I
lost
wouldn't.
in my email. I apologize.
That's fine.
There's really not been that many
There's not been. a lot.
changes on anything older, like you said, started 11. So I think you could leave that another year.
And one thing to note is they are, before our cybersecurity, coverage was part of the, officials' general liability, the public officials' liability. It was part of that. But this coming year, they are separating that out as a standalone policy, but it'll be wrapped up into this.
How much is that going up?
I don't know. We just have to fill out a questionnaire and, the coverage will be $500,000. Says effective for renewals on or after 10/1/24, the base cyber limit offered in our program to members will be 500,000. It's important that there will be a cost with this new standalone cyber coverage.
Speaking of that, Amy, did everyone get their training done as required?
I think there might be a few more that they're waiting for the last day. What Kim
The
was.
last day of June?
Start docking $25.
Yeah, they got
If they
paid
don't do
25 bucks.
Oh, we're gonna shut their.
We'll have a wonderful
computer
year-end banquet, yeah.
I clicked on a link I clicked on.
I'll be doing my cybersecurity training while I'm getting my physical done.
You did.
That's a good one.
That's been a while.
You need to do it.
on. Okay, anything else on
Computer.
that agenda item?
Clicked on the link.
Okay. Item 19, consider and approve sale of struck off tax properties or tax deeds. I didn't have any this time. So the next item on the agenda is to adjourn into executive session in regards to section 551.076 deliberations about security devices. Oh, you can do it. Okay, yeah, I'll make myself some notes.
I need.
We were doing that. And make that full screen. There we go. Okay. Okay. Oh, who's got the paper? Oh, died. Leave it up. We'll wait on you. Ruby? Okay, we went out. Okay, we went out into executive session at 12:20. And back in to regular session at 12:37. Okay, and so the next item on the agenda is to consider approve any action from executive session.
I move, be authorized, IT Supervisor Russell Ray to begin the negotiation with, backup organizations, for the protection of the county.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor? Does anybody have anything else? I hear a motion to adjourn.
I would really, 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 really like to make a motion.
I'll really second that.
All right, motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor? Meeting adjourned.